Today we are going to be doing a high protein meal prep. I have protein goals, muscle building goals. So we're gonna meal prep a breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and dessert, and it's gonna be delicious. All vegan and high protein. Let's do it.
Let's start off with these tofu scramble bagel balls, and it's basically like a vegan bacon, egg, and cheese and a bagel. It's so good. We're going to start by crumbling up some firm tofu with our hands. I like firm tofu for tofu scramble because it's a little bit softer. Then we're going to go in with Ripple pea protein milk, or you can use any non-dairy milk. Then we're going in with nutritional yeast, and my sister got me this seasoning for tofu scramble, so it's fun. So I put some of that on there. Then I crumbled up 2 pieces of lightlife bacon, and I'm just going to cook this on the stove for 5 to 7 minutes. It'll finish cooking in the oven, but I just want to start the process. In the meantime, we're going to be making my protein bagels. So vital wheat gluten, all-purpose flour, baking powder, salt, apple cider vinegar helps it rise, and water. And this combined with the tofu scramble is what is giving this so much protein. Almost 43 grams of protein per bagel ball. Okay, it's insane. So once we got the dough all done, we're going to divide it into 4. Use your hands to flatten and stretch it because there's a lot of vital wheat gluten in there. It doesn't stretch and roll out exactly like a regular dough, and you may want to flour your surface lightly. Then I'm going to put a little piece of vegan American cheese. I'm using Follow Your Heart. Scoop on our tofu scramble. I just portioned it out, like divided it by 4, the whole weight, to put it into the little bagel balls. And then I added another piece of the vegan American cheese, and then we are going to really wrap this up and seal it tightly. The bottom you want to be sealed really well. If there's a little hole on top, like I have one here, that's okay, but the bottom needs to be sealed up. And you'll just repeat the process. And if you want to add in more things like veggies and stuff, you can, but I kept it pretty simple here. So I'm just going to make all of them. I'm going to spray my little baking pan. And then if you have any holes in the transferring process, just patch them back up and pop them on there. I'm going to add everything bagel seasoning on top. You can skip it. You can add sesame seeds, minced onion, whatever you like. These are going in the oven, 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes until they come out golden and beautiful. And you will store these in the fridge after because of all the ingredients in there, and you can reheat them in the air fryer, the oven, or the microwave. And then we have to cut one in half, of course. This was fresh out of the oven, hot and steamy, as you can see. And the tofu scramble's kind of back up in there, but it's so good. And I also love that thick layer of the bread. It was really good. I paired this with fruit, and it was just absolutely delicious. For a snack, we're going to make this vegan yogurt bark. So I'm using the Silk vanilla almond yogurt. It's like a protein yogurt, so I'm going to add that in. It has a really nice flavor. I really like it. Then I'm going to add in a little protein powder. Unfortunately, this protein powder is discontinued, so use any vanilla protein powder that you like. I'm always partial to pea protein. And we're going to mix that up together. Then we're going to add in some blueberries and Catalina Crunch. Catalina Crunch is a protein cereal, so this adds protein. And I didn't add in everything because we'll save some for topping. So now I'm going to spread this onto a silicone lined baking sheet. I find it easy with the silicone mat because then you can peel it back. You don't want to spread it out too thin because otherwise it'll just break. It won't hold its shape. So keep it a little bit thicker. Then we'll add the blueberries and Catalina Crunch on top. And then this is going in the freezer for at least 2 hours, but it can go until you just want to eat it. I kind of banged it a few times to make sure everything was really in there. And then when it was all frozen, see how easy it is to just peel back the silicone mat now because it's all frozen and just one big piece. And then you can cut it or break it into as many pieces as you like. This meal prep is designed for 4 servings per recipe. So I just cut up into pieces and then I would just weigh it out to get my serving amount. You, of course, want to keep this stored in the freezer, but it's so delicious. And I like having the Catalina Crunch and the blueberries in there, but then also on top. You can have fun and customize this with whatever you like. It's delicious. For lunch, we're making this awesome edamame salad. So first, we're going to cook up some quinoa. Using white quinoa, we're going to add water, salt, let that boil. Then we're going to cut up a whole block of this soy-free firm tofu. It is fava bean based. It is so high in protein. It's actually crazy. But if you can't find this, super firm tofu is going to be great here too. I just happen to love the fava bean tofu. So I'm going to cut this up into little pieces. And then because we already have the oven on because of the bagels, we're going to just pop the tofu in there too, adding a little salt and garlic powder to this. And we're just going to bake this for 10-ish minutes. We just want it to get nice and golden and crispy. So put that in the oven. In the meantime, let's work on our veggies. I bought matchstick carrots, but they always come like sitting in some water. So I just like to rinse them in cold water And then I'm going to chop up a bell pepper. We're going to chop up lots of veggies for this, which I really love this salad for that. Sugar snap peas. I love sugar snap peas. They just add such a nice crunch and sweetness along with the bell pepper. We're going to go in with some scallions, slice those up nice and thin, and you can take or leave what you want, you know, add what you like, take what you don't like out, whatever. We're going to chop up some broccoli. This was frozen broccoli, so I microwaved it. That's why I was squeezing the water out. And then we'll just chop that up, throw that in there. Some green cabbage. I had a lot of cabbage in the house. I had green and red, so we're using both here. You don't need to do both cabbages. I'm just trying to use up what I already have. So I put the cabbage in, and the cabbage is nice because it holds up well for a few days. We're going to do the carrots in once they've been rinsed, the red cabbage. Then we're going to add in tons of edamame. I like to buy this one that is already cooked, but you can buy frozen and then cook it yourself and throw that in there. We're going to add in that cooked quinoa, and then we're going to add in the cooked tofu. And this salad is looking absolutely stunning so far. I love all the colors in here. I love all the textures. This might have been one of the favorite things that I meal prepped. Actually, I really liked everything in this video. Like, I really genuinely enjoyed every single thing. But I really looked forward to having this salad because it was such a big portion and it was so filling and so many colors and flavors and textures. Then we're going to make a dressing. So I'm using PB2, Ripple pea protein milk, agave, and sriracha. You can use a different non-dairy milk. Just know that Ripple is a high protein milk. That's why I like to use it. So it could potentially change the macros slightly depending on what you use. And I like the agave, but you could use maple syrup, sriracha for a little spiciness. You could throw in garlic powder if you want. You could have fun. So we're going to coat our salad in the dressing. I was doing my best to toss this salad. It was a huge salad. You guys have no idea how big this bowl is. This is one of the biggest bowls I own, and I did not have enough room to mix everything. But I always like to add some dressing, toss, add dressing, toss, and then I'll have a little bit in the bottom. So I just put a splash of water in there, mixed around, threw that in there as well because we don't want to waste a drop of our dressing, of course. And yeah, so good. We're going to portion this out into containers. This will get stored in the fridge. And then when I went to eat this, I microwaved it for like 30 seconds to a minute just to kind of warm it slightly because I liked it that way. It was also really cold this week when I filmed this meal prep video, but it's so delicious. For dinner, we're making vegan burger bowls. We're going to start off by cooking some lentils on the stove. Lentils take some time, you know, 30, 40 minutes until they get soft. Just boil them, put them on the stove, forget about them. In the meantime, we are going to cut up some potatoes. I had these mini potatoes, so that's what I'm using, but you could use a big potato. I always love a Yukon Gold potato, and I like salty and sweet. I think it's a fun combo, so we're going to do some sweet potatoes too. And we're just going to cut those up into quarters or six, depending on how big the slice was. And then we're going to pop those in a bowl with a little oil and salt, toss them around, and then we are going to bake these as well. So it's good because we have the oven on for multiple things. I like to try to get as much as we can in the oven all at once. So I'm going to pop those onto my baking sheet and we'll put them in there and we'll forget about them. We're going to bake these at 425 for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, just depending on how long it takes for them to get nice and golden. Then we are going to cook up some Beyond Meat. I liked combining the Beyond Meat and the lentils to give a nice burger feel. If you don't want to use Beyond Meat, you don't have to. You could use a different kind of vegan beef. Use what you like. And then I'm going to cut up some tomatoes as well and some lettuce. I liked having these veggies already prepped in the fridge. I stored everything separately so that way I could make the bowls when I was ready to eat them instead of making the bowls and then heating them up. That way I could heat up certain things when I felt like it, you know, keeping it separate was better. And then I cooked up the vegan beef. I'm going to add in those lentils. We're going to add in some black pepper, salt, garlic powder, and onion powder. Super simple, super delicious. And I really liked this combination of the vegan beef with the lentils because I still had that meaty feel, but then I was happy because I was getting the lentils as well because lentils are so good for us. So yeah, you could see that was in its own container. And then we're going to make a vegan special sauce. So we're using vegan yogurt. I'm using the Kite Hill one. We're going to go with some ketchup, agave, onion powder, salt, and that's it. Mix it up. There you go. Now you have special sauce for drizzling on top. And then I just wanted to show you how I would assemble the bowl. So, and I also have some vegan cheese. This is Follow Your Heart cheddar shreds. So I would portion out my burger, my vegan burger meat, whatever you want to call it. So I added that. I added my lettuce. And like I said, I like having it already cut up and ready to go. It makes it easier. Added in my potatoes. Then we're going to go in with the tomatoes, tomatoes. Then we are going to, of course, do some pickles. I always have pickles in the house, so I had to put pickles on top. Add our vegan cheese, add our special sauce, and this was really delicious, really good. And when I had this for dinner, I would have it with some broccoli or another veggie on the side too. It's a really fun meal. You can load up as much veggies in there as you want to, so play around with it, customize it. Finally, for dessert, we're having protein brownies. These are really good. So we're going to start off by melting some vegan chocolate chips and vegan butter. I'm going to make my egg replacer using Bob's Red Mill. You could use a flax or a chia egg too if you like. Then into my bowl, I'm going to pour my melted vegan butter. We're going to add in that melted vegan chocolate, and we're going to add in some organic sugar. I kind of took my brownie recipe and then I proteinized it. I'm making a verb. So I mixed all that up together. Okay. Then we're going to add in some vanilla extract. We're going to add in non-dairy milk. And then, of course, we're going to go back in with my favorite ingredient, the Vital Wheat gluten. That was the egg replacer. And then we're going to mix this all up. So get all the wet ingredients in there first. Then we're going to go in with the Vital Wheat gluten. That helps to give us more protein. We're going to go in with some chocolate protein powder as well, and all-purpose flour. You could also add in cocoa if you want to. I don't know. I had prepped a lot that day, obviously, and I didn't feel like adding another ingredient. And we need some baking powder as well. So I'm going to whisk this all up, and it's going to be a really thick batter. Okay, that's what it looks like. That's what we want. I have a little baking dish, and I'm going to add a piece of parchment paper, and then we're going to plop in our brownie batter. With wet hands, I find it easier to push this down. So I'm going to push it down as best I can to get it into the corners. This is a pretty small baking dish. I think it's 5 by 7 or something like that. And then these are going in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes. And yeah, so when you put these in the oven, you're going to drop the temperature, and you want everything out of the oven that needed to be at the higher temperature. So after it comes out, let it cool. I'm going to check it with a toothpick, of course. Comes out nice and clean. We're good to go. This is why I like the parchment paper. Look how easy it is. Take it right out. Then you can cut it into as many pieces as you like. These brownies are really good. I really like this. They are more like a cake-like brownie, but they're really yummy. And they're good with like some vegan yogurt and fruit. It's delicious. Or you can even put them on vegan ice cream. They're just really fun. So that was our high protein meal prep. I hope these recipes helped you out. All recipes are in the description box down below. In 2 seconds, we're going to talk about macros. So please leave now if you don't want to hear about calories. But these are the total macros for the day. And then you can obviously add in more fruits, veggies, snacks. I like to have Olippops and Poppies during the day, so you'll up the calories, but I just wanted to give you a baseline of where we're starting at. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And if you like high protein vegan meal preps and you want more, be sure to check out the other ones on my channel. And I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!